Hello and welcome to today's podcast, a Cash Flow Capitalist podcast. My name is Daniel Wynn, and I want to ask you a question. What is the best way to invest in real estate? This is the choices that you have. Let's say that you're over 30 or 40 years old, and you have at least $100,000. You've advanced to this part of your career. If you don't, that's a different question we'll answer on another day. But in today's example, we'll say that you have $100,000 to invest, and you have a family, or your family's already began to move out. You're an empty nester. So what do you do with the $100,000 if you want to invest in real estate? Is the question. Do you want to buy properties, fix them up and flip them? Do you want to buy properties, hold them for long-term rental? Or do you want to put that money to work and be the banker and let your money earn interest to avoid some of the responsibilities that come along with being a landlord or owning property? This is the question that I had to ask myself over the years, and I've done all of the above. I've been a real estate investor, and I'm still a real estate investor. My option, which I didn't even mention, is to buy and sell, meaning I don't want to fix and flip properties. I am not the best fix and flip guy, right? Most of the fix and flips I've done in my career, I have not crushed it. I've made more money or crushed it when I just buy and sell, meaning I buy the property at a good price, clean it out, do minimum amount of repairs, and then sell it. That's the option. So the question that I have is, is it better to be a real estate investor, or is it better to be a private lender? So let's go over some of the reasons why you would consider each, and at the end, hopefully you'll figure out which one is best for you. And maybe it's a little bit of everything, like it is for a lot of people. So the number one reason why people will invest in mortgages or become a private lender is because it's relatively easy, right? You write a check, you become the banker, and you set it up with a servicing company, and you collect monthly interest. It's so easy that there's even companies that do all the bookkeeping and send out the year-end tax reporting, the 1099s and W-2s and things like that. So you have to decide So one of the benefits, in addition to being a private lender, is being able to get a fixed rate of return on your money. You're able to get a return on your investment that could be anywhere from 8 to 12% in today's market. And if you really can find motivated people and people that you might even be able to make more, right? I have instances where we currently are making 13 or 14%, and it's unique circumstances, but it's not the norm. But earning 8 to 12% interest will allow you, using the compounding interest, the rule of, what is it called? Compound interest, rule of 72. The rule of 72 says that if you take the interest rate you're earning divided by 12, is it 7? The rule of 72 will help you figure out how long it takes for you to double your money. So if you're getting 12% interest, you should be able to double your money in about 6 years. So that might be better than actually taking a property and being involved in fix. The thing that I don't like about owning rental properties and fix and flip properties is you have to deal with termites, tenants, and toilets. And my life is evolved, right? I don't want to be involved in those day-to-day activities. For those of you that are good at that, and God bless you. For those of you that love it, God bless you. Because there's a lot of other people that are like me. They just want to be the banker, or they'll buy the property knowing that they're only going to own it for a short period of time before they sell it. So the key benefit of becoming a private lender is earning a fixed rate of interest year in and year out. Now there's risks, and we can go over those involved in that. The way that we teach people and encourage people that invest with us to invest as a private lender is to keep the loan to values under 65% of the value. We are really teaching people how to be an equity driven private lender, not a FICO score or even income, because those indicators are not always the best. We want a cushion and you want a cushion if you're going to become a private lender in case something goes wrong and you have to take back the property. You have the time that you got to foreclose and get people out of the property. Could take a year or more. And so that eats into the equity. If you have to pay for taxes and insurance, that eats into the equity. So I always recommend that you stay under 65% loan to value. And if you could stay under 50%, even better. Other advantages for becoming a private lender is the steady and predictable cash flow, right? So you get the high interest rate and you get the payments, you get an email notification from your servicer saying, hey, we just deposited this interest payment into your account. You're also having real estate as collateral. These are not loans that you would make not having any collateral or second mortgages. I recommend that you do first mortgages secured by real estate under 65% loan to value, so you have a lot of collateral in case the borrower does not pay, which will eventually happen if you are a lender long enough. Private lending could be shorter time frames involved. Many of the loans that we originate here are for 1 year. So they're a 1 year interest only loan. And as long as the people make their payments on time, if they ask for an extension, we could grant them that extension and earn a loan modification fee or a loan extension fee. But we do want to make sure that their property taxes and their insurance are paid current before we would ever make a loan extension. And I recommend that to you also. So let's talk about the pros and cons of flipping property now. Well, the great news about flipping property is if you buy low, can manage the remodel and the rehab, and you could sell high, you can hit a grand slam or a home run, right? I mean, you watch all the late night TV shows like I do, right? And people make some incredible profits. It's like gamblers, right? I live in Las Vegas. They always tell you about when they win, but they never tell you when they lose. So the same thing with house flippers. They always brag about, the big one that they hit, or the grand slam, but they rarely talk about the whiffs and the strikeouts. Also, when you buy property, you become actively involved in managing that property. You become actively involved in managing that property, and you get to be hands-on, right? I mean, it's like owning a business. You get to hire the contractors. That is a pro and a con. I mean, once again, if you like working with people, then great. You can bid out the work, get people to do the work and remodel up to your expectations, and then sell it for a good price. The one thing that's a con about investing in properties is that you have to put up your money and many times take on debt. Most investors are not buying in cash and flipping. Depends on where you are in life. So I'll say that in this case, you have to put up 30% or less, and you borrow money. That's typically what real estate investors do, and you get leverage. So it was okay when interest rates were at 3 and 6%, but today they're at 7 and 8%. So now your cost of money has doubled. So you have to take on debt. And then there's the time bomb that's going off every month. Real estate taxes, insurance, HOA, utility bills, unexpected grass cutting or lawn maintenance, water bills, trash bills. I am a private lender and I've been doing this for a long time, and I see so many people are not able to execute and flip a property in 6 months or less. I mean, it is rare. So for those of you that have mastered 6 months or less, man, kudos, you deserve high fives all the way around. But the average real estate investor thinks that they can get in there and do this in under 6 months, and I don't see that to be the case. I'm happy when they do it in 6 months because I want anybody who borrows money from us to win, and people who lend money with us to win. So one of the cons is you have to be very careful with is taking on debt. That is a double-edged sword, and you can win with it, but you also can get cut and lose with it. Some of the cons of rental properties, and let's go, okay, one of the positives of owning rental property is price appreciation, right? If you buy at the right time, you could watch the property go up in value every year. You buy at the wrong time and it goes in the other direction. It used to be said when I was younger that, hey, you buy property and you hold it because it always goes up. Well, I'm a lot older. I've seen a lot more cycles in real estate, and it doesn't always go up. Yeah, maybe if you chart it over 30 years, it's going to go up, but I've seen properties go up and down and up and down, and I would imagine that'll still happen. Maybe not every market is exactly the same. The United States is pretty big, the world's pretty big, but that is one of the positives, is that if you can catch the right wave, buy at the right time, then you will get price appreciation. And if you can do that very well over 5, 10, 15 years, then yes, you could set yourself up very well for the future when you start selling off those assets. Some of the negatives of owning rental property are the obvious: tenants, termites, and toilets again. Tenants can be great when they pay, and they can be not so great when you have to do evictions. And the more units that you own, and depending on the types of properties and the locations, the more likely you eventually have to deal with deadbeat tenants. And that is one of the things that I don't want to be involved in, because I don't want the confrontation, I don't want the drama, and that's just my choice. Now your choice might be, hey, no problem, I got the lawyers, I got the people, good. Whatever that is, I'm happy for you. You know, this is just a question that I wanted to go over in this podcast, because every week I'm talking about private lending, and I know there's a whole another world of real estate investing, but it's a world that has ups and downs. It's neither business is a perfect business, although you can stack the odds in your favor by following good principles and building a good team. So in the end, I want to ask you a question. Again, the same question I asked in the beginning. Do you want to be the banker, or do you want to be the owner and buy all the properties like on the monopoly board, right? Do you want to gather all the properties and just keep collecting rents, or do you want to be the banker and earn the interest off of lending your money? I hope that you will pick the right choice for you. For me, as I shared earlier, I like being the banker, the broker. I like buying and selling. And maybe it's a combination for you. Maybe you want to do all of the above. And if we could ever be of assistance, let me know. I look forward to seeing if I could help you with your journey. In the end, each investment has its own merits, and it's up for you to determine what's best for you, your family, your goals, and your dreams. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I'll see you next time.